Dear friends, today we are going to discuss one more important topic of history textbook for class 10th. This topic is of chapter 1st, Rise of Nationalism in Europe. The name of the topic is Age of Revolutions, 1830 and 1848. Before starting these two revolutions, let me tell you that in previous video in which we have discussed the new conservatism after 1815. Here you have to remember one thing, that after 1815 the conservatives re-established their power not only in France but in other parts of the European countries. So conservatives once again began to rule the France. Clear? This thing you will remember before starting the topic Age of Revolutions. So what are Age of Revolutions? Age of Revolutions are the revolutions started or led by liberal nationalists. Who are liberal nationalists? Liberal nationalists were the people who were opposing the new conservative order which had been established after 1815, after the Congress of Vienna. Clear? So liberal nationalists was a group of educated middle class elite people, because these liberal nationalists, they were from the third estate, but one section of the third estate, not all the people of third estate, one section of the third estate had become rich by overseas trade or by manufacturing of goods, either woolen clothes, textiles. Clear? Through that free trade they had become rich, and when money came into their hands they became educated. Clear? So liberal nationalists were the educated middle class elite people, rich people in the third estate. Clear? So that very liberal nationalists have started a revolution to oppose that very new conservative order which had been established after the Congress of Vienna after 1815. Clear? So if you have to define what are the age of revolutions, what are the revolutions of 1839 and 1848, so you will define it. 1830s revolution or the age of revolutions, or 1848 revolution are the revolutions started by liberal nationalists. Clear? That very liberal nationalists belonged to educated middle class elite families. Clear? So what happened after that? First upheaval took place in France in July 1830s. So July revolution of 1830s is also called as by the name of July revolution of 1830s, because this revolution took place in July. Clear? So we had seen that first disturbance took place in France. First upheaval took place in France. First revolution took place in France in July 1830s. Clear? So in that very revolution, what happened? Installed Louis Philippe as constitutional monarch. As earlier we had seen, there were absolute monarchs. Clear? So after 1815, when the Bourbon dynasty was once again restored back to power in France, but these very liberal nationalists, when they started the July revolution of 1830s, they overthrew that Bourbon dynasty which had been restored back to power after 1830s. Clear? So there was a conflict going on between conservatives and revolutionaries or liberal nationalists. Clear? So liberal nationalists once again overthrew the Bourbon dynasty which had been restored back to power in France. So that is why first upheaval took place in France by the name of July revolution of 1830s. So what they did in that very revolution, the liberal nationalists installed Louis Philippe not as absolute monarch as they were, clear, before 1815, but they installed Louis Philippe as constitutional monarch. They asked Louis Philippe to become our king, to become our monarch, but you have to utilize your powers as under the constitution. Clear? You have to obey the constitution. You have to accept the constitution. Clear? So they made Louis Philippe as a constitutional monarch. So after that, what happened? Then Belgium got away from United Kingdom of Netherlands. What is this? Clear? So here I will tell you one thing, that when July Revolution of 1830s took place in France, a statement was made by Metternich. Who was Metternich? As I told you, who hosted the Congress of Vienna in 1815. He was the Chancellor of Austria. Clear? So he made a statement, when France sneezes, the rest of the Europe catches cold. I mean to say, if any development, if any upheaval, if any disturbance was taking place in Europe, that very upheaval or that very development also inspired the revolutions in other parts of the Europe. Clear? That is the statement, actual meaning of this very statement as made by Metternich. Clear? What happened? Then Belgium was a neighboring country to that of France. It lies to the northern side of France. So then Belgium got away from United Kingdom of Netherlands. This Belgium earlier on was a part of United Kingdom of Netherlands. So when the revolution took place in France, due to this very revolution, this Belgium got affected. Clear? This Belgium got inspired and it began to liberate herself from the United Kingdom of Netherlands. Clear? So after that, we had seen, due to this very revolution, which had been started by the revolutionary leaders, by the liberal nationalists, so this revolution also inspired the people of Greece. So Greek War of Independence. What is Greek War of Independence? Greece is the name of a country, but this very country lies between two borders, lies between two continents, lies between the borders of two continents, that is European continent and Asian continent. This is Greece. This is the name of a country. On the northern side, if we see, there is the Europe, and in the southern side there is the Asia, West Asia. In between these two continents, there lies the Greece. Clear? So if we see the European continent, the dominant religion there is Christianity. If we see this very the dominant religion is there Islam, West Asia. Clear? So what is this? We had seen that Greece War of Independence. This Greece had been under the control of Ottoman Empire. Ottoman Empire, it is modern Turkey. Clear? Or Istanbul. So it was ruled by Ottoman Turks. Ottoman Turks were actually Muslim rulers. Clear? So this Greece was under the control of Ottoman Empire from the 15th century. Clear? But we had seen, when as the revolutionary nationalism was growing in Europe or in France, we had seen it also began to inspire the people of Greece to start a struggle for independence from the Ottoman Empire. Clear? Or in simple terms, we may define it as the revolutionary nationalism was growing in France or in Europe. So this very revolutionary nationalism also inspired the people of Greece to start a struggle against the Ottoman Empire, to free the Greece from the control of Ottoman Empire. Clear? So what we had seen, that the nationalists which were nationalist leaders which were growing in Greece, which were emerging in Greece, what they did, they got support from other Greeks who were living in exile. Clear? So they also got support from the people of other European countries. Why from other European countries? Because we had seen the Greece was very important for the people of Europe. The sentiments of so many European countries were linked to the Greece, because it was an ancient religious place for the Europeans. Clear? So that is this very Greece. Greece was regarded as a cradle of European civilization. So this the people of Europe had sympathies with the ancient Greek culture, because in ancient times it was considered it was considered to be very important in ancient times. So this very Greece culture, the people of Greece had very sympathies for ancient Greek culture, ancient Greek culture, or the sentiments of the Greek people were linked to the Greece. Clear? So what did Lord Byron, who was an English poet, what he did, what was his contribution in the Greek War of Independence? He organized funds for the liberation of Greece from Ottoman Empire. What he did, he moved to and fro, collected funds from the people, and later on went to fight in the Greek War of Independence. Clear? But he died of fever in 1824. So finally what happened? Finally, a treaty was signed between the people of Greece and the people of Ottoman Empire. So a treaty, an agreement was signed in 1832. By that very agreement, by that very treaty, Greek was recognized as an independent nation. That is, Greek will no longer remain under the control of Ottoman Empire. So this is Greek War of Independence. I hope that you have got that you have properly understood the topic Age of Revolutions. First of all, you have understood the July Revolution of 1830s. You have understood how Belgium got away from United Kingdom of Netherlands, and the Greek War of Independence. Thank you.